You pit Carlos Sainz. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we are back with probably the last of the Hungarian Grand Prix videos that we will be doing on the channel for quite some time. It is now the summer break in F1. We are gonna slowly get back into the football and content. F1 videos, believe me, will still be around. There's still so much for me to learn, and F1 gaming content, which is the reason I haven't been live streaming recently, will be coming soon. We do have some plans for some streams coming up. Literally just put in the order for a whole new gaming setup, whole new gaming camera, you know, the whole streaming setup, and I honestly have to do a hardware update, including probably getting a new desktop and or laptop. There's a lot going on. But anyway, we are not focusing on that today. Today we are focusing back on the F1 content. It is the Hungarian Grand Prix that we are taking a look at, and it is how Max Verstappen went from 10th, which also, I don't know how he went to 10th. The qualifying session seemed very, very odd. So I think they said no matter what, Checo and Pierre Gasly were going to start from the back because they had upgrades. But I thought Verstappen had an upgrade as well. So it wouldn't have mattered where he ended up in qualifying in Q3 anyway. But I don't think that was the case. I think there was just an absolutely bad mechanical failure with Red Bull. And yet he somehow overcame that during the race to win. When I think Ferrari had a better car, and weirdly enough, Mercedes had a better car in that race, which obviously you can debate that because guess who won? Max Verstappen. So we're going to take a look at how Verstappen did it, how the Hungarian Grand Prix played out, and I feel like Formula One themselves are going to go a little bit in depth on how Ferrari have bottled this yet again. And I'm going to look at it and I'm going to be absolutely sad for Ferrari, but I just know with every fiber in my being, they did it to themselves. So there's not much I really could be mad about. So let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see on the channel. We're gonna do more F1 quizzes. We're gonna, yeah, like I said, have the gaming content and stuff like that. Honestly, more Drive to Survive streams, probably too, or even just Drive to Survive episode reactions. Wouldn't be such a bad deal. I thoroughly enjoy them. They are great. So let me know what you guys think though, what you guys want to see, and what you guys would, you know, like to prep for. Football is gonna be a very interesting one. I want to do an FPFL, or Fantasy Premier League, FPL, just FPL, EFPL, English Fantasy, I don't know. I want to do something like that, but for F1. Really weird combo. But anyway, sorry, long intro, let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video down in the description below. It's from the Formula One page, so obviously it is blurred out. I do apologize. They just have some great content, and I want to put it on the channel. So, trying my best to not get blocked. But yeah, let's get into it.
What's surprising me is Russell starting on the soft tyre and Sainz and Leclerc, the two Ferraris, on the medium compound tyre.
Because George Russell wanted to get out fast.
Out there, actually, of what they think is the right strategy.
15 seconds. Lewis car approaching the back of the grid.
Finally, though, we are ready and everyone is lined up on the grid.
I like how tense this is. I love how tense this is.
And away we go, and it's a decent reaction from George Russell and also
on the soft tires.
Sainz, who covers over his teammate Charles Leclerc. Russell ahead, going around the outside. Charles Leclerc. Russell's got the inside line.
And whoever that is, in that first Red Bull, great job everyone for not crashing at turn 1. Fantastic start. Great job. But yeah. After that, there's already a Red Bull that you can see here, ready to rumble. There's a Mercedes already here chilling, which is Lewis Hamilton, who went from 7th all the way to, what, 4th or 5th, right off the start. Which, poor Lando, he literally got trapped right into the nonsense. But then the Ferraris, which I thought would be there.
Decent start from Max Verstappen as well.
You can see immediately the Ferraris have fired their tyres up. They've got grip, they've got confidence. Russell really struggling to get the car to turn in. And
which I think the reason people had the Ferraris winning this is because these shorter lap courses fit their car perfectly.
Max Verstappen has got a great run on Fernando Alonso.
Like they absolutely dominated the Red Bull Ring with the same type of course.
Now going to the inside goes Max Verstappen on Esteban Ocon. We've seen these two tangle in the past. That was a lovely clean move. Under braking from Max Verstappen.
And box, Carlos, box.
Box, they say, for Sainz at Ferrari.
I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that.
And George Russell covered the move. Oh, because they wanted George Russell to cover the move. For Carlos Sainz to cover George Russell's move.
To try and put off their competitors. Was that the case at Mercedes? Was George Russell coming in anyway? But they definitely throw a dummy call. They're not the only team to do it. And then,
right front was a bit tardy, wasn't it?
Just a touch, but whether it was the dummy call, whether that put Mercedes off or not, we'll find out after the race. But Verstappen is also
dummy call. That's my first time ever actually hearing that term. So essentially, they told them to pit, but they weren't actually going to pit Carlos and Charles Leclerc. They're going to keep them out. They had the medium tires on anyway. It made sense for George Russell to go, but not for those two.
Coming in, so he was closing right up to the rear of Lewis Hamilton and was pushing hard as our race leader George Russell comes out now. It's important for him to be at least ahead of one of the Alpines, and he's going to be ahead of Fernando Alonso, but there's a fight going to go on now down towards turn 2, and this is
Fernando Alonso's going to get there.
George Russell today, he's going the long way round the outside. He'll get the inside line to the next corner.
He did it right.
Russell stays ahead then of Fernando Alonso.
Let's see what Ferrari and now Sainz is in. So they're covering that off. They only got as far as the soft-tired Mercedes.
So last year, the undercut was absolutely massive here in terms of stop first before your competitor, and it gives you an advantage. But Ferrari going for the overcut now with Carlos Sainz, and it was a slow stop. Charles Leclerc has gone through, Lewis Hamilton has gone through, Sergio Perez has gone through. Where's George Russell? He's right behind Esteban Ocon, and as we see Carlos Sainz coming out of the pit lane, Russell goes through, and he's preserved his advantage over Carlos Sainz, and Ocon goes through as well.
So Mercedes played the tactics
really helped
perfectly
George Russell
right.
down the straight to get ahead of Esteban Ocon.
And box now, box speed confirmed.
And Leclerc then, it looks like he'll be going straight on to mediums.
So it's a two-stopper.
Two-stopper, as you say.
For Charles Leclerc, probably go medium, soft, I would imagine. Right, George Russell just making his way towards turn 13.
So George Russell now has to get around before Charles Leclerc.
George Russell made his stop. No one's really interested in Red Bull. Well, Adrian Newey and Christian Horner aren't in that Ferrari pit stop. 2.9 seconds. Fairly slick. It was certainly faster than George Russell's stop. Russell comes now down towards turn 1 and ahead of Charles Leclerc. But here's crucial for Ferrari. Leclerc, by carrying on for a few more laps, is ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz.
And that's where you should have known things were gonna go sideways. That's just where you should have known things were gonna go sideways, which means they didn't get Carlos' Sainz strategy right because he didn't beat George Russell to it, and they got Charles Leclerc's right, which, okay, if that's the case and Carlos Sainz just isn't quick enough, then Carlos Sainz is he's gonna sit in that third spot until he catches George Russell himself, which he should have been able to. The Mercedes was driving great, but the Ferrari is a better car on this track. So if Charles Leclerc is able to essentially just get through that whole track and then go past George Russell, he should be able to help bring the other Ferrari forward. Like, that should be the case. It's not gonna, though. It's not gonna be the case.
Leclerc at 123.2, and now he's homing in. He'll get DRS all the way down this straight, and the short straight then from turn 1 to turn 2. Look at him closing up. What a wonderful view. What a realistic view that is. Russell gives him one car's width on the outside. Has a little wobble though in the middle of the corner. That's going to slow him down, and this is then the chance for Leclerc. Down the outside, there's a bit of grip out there. Russell will run it wide, but he'll tighten. He'll have a tight line.
This is a great battle. They had this battle too at
another lap.
Oh no, I guess it wasn't that. It was George Russell versus the Red Bulls.
Both going to be stopping again, so it's not total heartbreak for Charles Leclerc if he can't get past George Russell in terms of an on-track move, but they would dearly love to make their strategy just a little bit easier between now and the checkered flag. And Leclerc is about 1/10 of a second.
He's going to take George Russell.
Closer to George Russell, going into the DRS zone, and down he goes around the outside.
It's just such a good overtake. It was such a good overtake.
Fight that back, but with an extra helping of DRS, Charles Leclerc's got it covered. That was a brilliant move there from Charles Leclerc.
Beautiful car control from both of them.
Okay, so now if you're at this point, what is the end goal? You have now gotten past George Russell. You're still on the medium tires. If you are going to do a two-stop strategy and there's 70 laps in the race, the goal would be to get those medium tires to about, lap 51, lap 52, and then go on the soft, run them to the death while you're running super fast laps and finish off the race with a W. You have Carlos Sainz sitting in third. George Russell is the only one realistically there to fight you for it. If there's no weather permitting, that's the strategy you go for, if I'm not mistaken, right? That seems like a valid strategy.
Box and pick confirm, Max. Box and pick confirm. Strat 12 in pit lane.
Verstappen is going to come in, unless this is the dummy call. No, this is the serious call. Down at Red Bull for Max Verstappen to pit. He did come in on lap 16, so his second and what should be final pit stop on lap 39.
Do they put him on the hard tires?
2.4 second stop, even though a bit of brute force was needed to apply that right rear tyre.
Yeah, so the puts him behind Lewis Hamilton, of course, and behind his teammate Perez, who will quite quickly get out of the way. He needs to stay ahead of this Haas if he can.
Which he has. I'd be worried now if I was George Russell and Carlos Sainz, Martin.
Box and push on.
This undercut could pick Max Verstappen up 2 places.
Mercedes under pressure, and indeed even
George Russell and
Ferrari
Carlos
with
Sainz is thinking of picking off.
Red Bull.
And now Mercedes are responding.
Ferrari are coming out into the pits. And is that Charles Leclerc coming in, I wonder?
I thought it was just white banding on there.
Yeah,
yellow.
we did. Charles Leclerc being told to box to go on to the hard compound.
Carlos Sainz is the one you bring in here, not Charles. Like, you're trying to beat the Red Bull undercut with the wrong driver. That's insane. That's just insane.
I'm tired, Ted, to you.
I think they've already lost it. I think they've already lost the undercut with Sainz. So, yeah, it is the Monegasque who pits, and it is the hard tyre that he goes on to. Wow, that's brave, based on how it's been going with everybody else.
So they saw everyone else failing on the hard tyres and said, let's do it.
How's this?
Which makes more sense.
Yeah.
So behind we have Perez and Verstappen. Verstappen with new medium.
Well,
there's Perez. There's Verstappen, who is now ahead
of George Russell.
Perez on a different strategy will be asked to get out of the way pronto, like that.
Yep.
Checo's was such a team player. He's such a team player.
You said quite a while ago Verstappen could feature at the end of this race and could feature quite high. Well, he's probably got the undercut on Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc is on tyres at the moment that actually might not suit him very well. Verstappen's closing in on Charles Leclerc to make the overtake on the track. They go wheel to wheel. Verstappen goes a bit deep, but he makes that overtake stick. Have Ferrari made a bit of a blunder?
Well, they had to go. They're not going to get a set of mediums to the 30 laps, so they had to go hard because they'd run medium to that point. You've got to run 2 different compounds.
But why would you pit him 10 laps early?
Really exposed against a flying Max Verstappen.
Hear me out. Here's the thing. If you just leave Charles Leclerc out there on the mediums, Verstappen's not catching him yet. You pit Carlos Sainz. Just big up to Max, though. Big up to Max. Because even this happens, the guy still
he's
is
had
a
a long
G.
spin. I was going to say he's the fastest man on the track. He's currently running ahead of Charles Leclerc, but he's had a moment there coming out.
And George Russell almost had a chance to take him too.
Sergio Perez.
But I'm on throttle and I just spun.
Charles Leclerc is ahead of this battle. DRS wide open for Max Verstappen once again. He is closer than he was on the previous lap to Charles Leclerc. Leclerc dived down the inside to cover off the Red Bull. In doing so, Max Verstappen now has a nice gap opening on the inside coming out of turn 1 of Verstappen.
How long did... Yeah, I mean, the hard tyres were just never going to adjust.
No traction on those concrete tyres. Sitting dark down there.
And box this up for soft.
They've got a gap to Sergio Perez, who's running in 6th. That is going to, well, it's going to pit Leclerc out behind Perez, but on faster, in theory, tyres.
But it's too late at this
Stories are
rate.
being written
It's too late at this rate. Like, he's losing 30
Ferrari
seconds of track
strategy
time.
again.
In a season where already Ferrari have cost themselves dear in terms of reliability, in terms of accidents, as we saw at France last time out, in terms of strategy calls, you can add the Hungarian Grand Prix to the list of question marks about this season, in which they really, Martin, should be an awful lot closer, if not ahead, of Red Bull in the championship.
What a great victory for Max Verstappen and Red Bull.
That's it.
Led
That
the
literally is
50th
it.
race of
That
his
literally is
career
it.
today, takes the 28th victory of his career. Max Verstappen, from 10th on the grid, comes home to win the Hungarian
And he deserves it,
Grand
rightfully.
Prix.
Yeah, we just
Honestly, which, I mean, he's just about to talk about the strategy. Red Bull played the strategy perfectly. They showed Ferrari the undercut, and they said, respond, take the bait. Take it with Carlos Sainz, take the bait. And Ferrari said, I'll do you one better, I'll send Charles in. And I'll put him on tires that haven't worked for anyone in this whole race. They won't heat up in time, and then we'll try to make up for our blunder by putting Charles even further, even behind Checo. Like, you can't beat that. Like, you can't beat it. Like, you essentially, Ferrari just pushed themselves off a cliff. Like, it's unreal. It's honestly, they got it correct by saying it should be Ferrari's, at least in the Constructors' Championship. They have the better car, in my opinion. This was their race to lose. Again, just like the French Grand Prix, just like Spain, just like even Silverstone. Which, I mean, Carlos Sainz got Silverstone, but still, that's the entire point.
just had the right calls, right undercuts, the right tires on the car all the time.
Unbelievable, Max. That is right up there with your best. Unbelievable. Fantastic.
Who would have thought when we woke up that we were going to win the race?
Not me.
That Ferrari
Not me.
debrief is going to be long and probably contentious.
Yeah, today hasn't been good, the last Sunday hasn't been good, but overall the pace is there. We just need to get better at putting everything together.
Oh my god, the hard work. So bad. That's why I said that I wanted to stay on the green as long as possible. The hard were really bad. Was this the same for everyone, or was this only for us?
I think it was the same for everyone with the hard.
So they
Why did we go? I mean, what was the reason then? Are we the only ones with 3 stops?
At the front runners, yes. At the back, some people with 3 stops.
Copy.
And in the end,
the strategy of the Aston Martin team with the car of the Red Bull team. That is what's happening. That, you know what, Aston Martin would have a better strategy than them. Like, it's, I feel so bad for Charles. I feel so bad.
more or less where we deserve to be, because we just didn't have the pace we had on Friday.
Yeah, tough one. Very tough.
Yeah, you try your best for the strong race from your side. Verstappen
Shoot,
won,
sorry guys.
Hamilton P2, then Russell P3, then behind you Perez, Charles P6, then Lando P7, Alonso P8, Ocon and Vettel P10, and Charles bottom up.
So, what happened? Like, what was the hard was very bad? Why was Verstappen so quick? No braining all of it.
Yeah, the hard was quite poor, we believe.
I mean, none of the tires were great today.
Yeah, it was difficult on either of them.
Can't see either of their two drivers being happy with the way that panned out for them.
I love that they put the sad, somber music in for Ferrari's, like, directors explaining. I can't with the Ferrari team. I can't with the Ferrari team. Like, it's such a shit show. It's absolutely such a shit show. I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it. Let me know what you guys think about the race. Max Verstappen, well done. Well done. He absolutely deserved it. Red Bull just pulled off another masterclass. That's really all they did. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.